The Chelsea PR machine is working overtime, from fake accountability briefs to Xavi links as our new manager. Let's talk about what missing the Champions League means for the players' pocket and why the Arsenal project is exposing BLUECO. We have a lot to break down, but before we dive into it, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. Or if you have been following me for a while, you know the drips. Help your boy get to that 10k subscriber mark. Let's dive into it. Alright, let's get into it. It's more than 48 hours since that absolute disaster against Nottingham Forest. And on the queue, the briefs are starting to fly. It's the same old pattern, isn't it? We lose, we look directionless, and then suddenly the club sources start leaking to the press to tell us how structured they are. And honestly, cheerful. While our rivals are out there competing for the league and booking their spots in the Champions League final, our owners are seemingly more invested in looking like they know what they are doing than actually doing it. They really think we are stupid, don't they? Let's look at the latest coming out of the club regarding how they handle failure. According to Nuzar Kansela, Chelsea sources have stressed that accountability across organization is embedded through annual reviews and could draw in anyone at any level should poor performance be identified. Accountability, that's a strong word for a club that has been spinning its wheels for 2 years. They want us to believe there is meritocracy at Koba and BLUECO HQ, but if the poor performance starts at the very top, who is reviewing them? And it looks like they are smelling the coffee. After spending billions on potential teenagers who won't be ready in 3 years, the narrative is suddenly shifting towards maturity. Nuzar Kansela is reporting that Chelsea are looking to add some experience to their squad at the end of the season, but more drastic decisions are not being discussed openly, with mid-season decisions to be avoided, especially with an FA Cup still yet to come. And he's not the only one hearing this. Simon Johnson and Liam Tuemni are backing it up, saying multiple sources say Chelsea are going to change their strategy slightly, buy more experienced, mature players. This does not necessarily mean they will be significantly older, but they are more ready-made. It's about time. We have been screaming for ready-made players since the first transfer window of this era. We don't need more 18 years old with high ceiling. We need players who can walk into the starting 11 and handle the pressure of a cold Tuesday night when things aren't going our way. The fact that it's taking this many losses and this many fan frustration for the board to realize that experience matters in the Premier League is staggering. Moving away from the board, back to the pitch, or rather, the medical room. We have got another concerning goal. Robert Sanchez is currently a doubt after a knock, and with Liverpool rooming next weekend, the timing couldn't be worse. As reported by Dom Smith, Robert Sanchez is to undergo an in-house assessment in the coming days as Chelsea follow the concussion protocol in hope he will be available to face Liverpool next weekend. We can't catch a break with the injuries, can we? The concussion protocol is strict for a reason, so we have to see how it progresses through the week. But honestly, even with a fit keeper, if you don't fix the lack of accountability on the pitch that the board loves to talk about, it's going to be a long afternoon against Liverpool. And this brings us to the most painful realization of this current era. It's not just about tactics on the pitch or the names on the back of the shirts. It's about the soul of the club. We all felt that the instincts drop in Chelsea standard. And why? Because the people who actually built that standard has been systematically purged. Simon Johnson and Leon Tuemi hit the nail on the head. Why they pointed out, one of the reasons Chelsea's standard has dropped is that no one has set those standards in around the first team setup now. Jotel has a part-time role as a mentor in the academy, and that's it. It's absolute madness. When these clowns took over, they laid off a massive chunk of Chelsea people. We are talking about legends like Peter Cech being shown the door, and John Terry being relegated to a part-time academy role. Instead, you have got people like Stuart, Wayne Stanley, the Kinetic Energy, and McFarnham crew, who are supposedly qualified, but are presiding over our decline. John Obi Mikel didn't hold back in his podcast either, and I have to say, I agree with every word he said. It's a thing of BLUECO not wanting anyone who represents the football club before, who helped build the club to what it is today. They don't want the people still, which is wrong to do. You need the people who knew what it took to build the football club to what it is today. You need the people to continue the success, the culture. We don't have that anymore. It makes zero sense truly from a business or sporting perspective. My question is, what do you have to lose having a winner in the building? You have everything to gain. You need those personalities in the dressing room or in the boardroom to look a player in the eye and say that's not how we do things at Chelsea. By pushing out legends, they have killed the culture. They have replaced the win at all cost mentality to a process that feels like it has no finish line. We are being led by people who don't understand what made us great, and until they bring back people who do, we are just a £1 billion experiment gone wrong. But moving on to the latest on Chelsea manager situation. According to Fabrizio Romano, Chelsea continue their process to find a new manager. The feeling at the club is that they are still in early stages, talking to candidates and representatives of candidates, preparing the final list they know they can't miss. The club is moving cautiously because frankly they have run out of lives. But here is the confusing part. Miguel Delaney is reporting that the feeling is that Chelsea has made significant progress in installing a football identity that is now visible in the academy right now through the age groups. And one of the values of Enzo Maresca was that his team typifies this approach. Chelsea consequently want to preserve with a coach with similar principle. This talk of identity is exactly how we ended up with Xavi Hernandez being the name thrown in the mix. Miguel Delaney actually dropped this bombshell earlier. Xavi Hernandez is under consideration by Chelsea to be their next manager, and Ben Jacobs even added him to the potential list. Xavi Hernandez is on Chelsea's shortlist to become the new manager. Andoni Iraola, Marco Silva, Xabi Alonso are also candidates. But hold your horses, because this is where the Chelsea PR machine and the transfer gurus start crashing. While Xavi's camp is busy telling everyone we have approached them, Ben Jacobs has since clarified that he might actually be out of the running. Xavi Hernandez insists Chelsea has made a formative approach and is open to a move to England. However, my understanding is that Chelsea are not expected to proceed. Xabi Alonso, Marco Silva, Andoni Iraola are all under serious consideration, and Xavi for now ruled out by Chelsea. Fabrizio went a step further, basically saying there is nothing to the Xavi links at all. There's nothing going on between Chelsea and Xavi Hernandez. Zero contact, but if they decide to meet, I'll let you know. There are different names on the shortlist. Personally, I think there are two major reasons why the Xavi links feels off, and while it might be a blessing that is reportedly ruled out. First, can you imagine our sporting directors Paul Winstanley and Roy Stewart trying to manage a personality like Xavi? He has a massive character, very similar to De Zerbi. If you hire someone like that, you stay away from his case and let him work in peace. Or otherwise, you will clash consistently. He isn't the type of manager who is going to sit there and let a board tell him what to do or which 18 years old he has to start. A board wants a head coach they can control. Xavi is a manager. Secondly, let's be real about his record. Is he even proven? Despite the La Liga title at Barcelona, his Champions League form was poor. Dropping to Europa League twice in the old formats at a club like Barca is a massive red flag. He's largely untested outside his comfort zone, and at this stage, we can't afford to be someone else learning experience in the Premier League. We need someone ready-made, just like the players we are supposedly looking at, whether it's Xabi Alonso, Marco Silva, or Iraola. The board needs to stop looking for a yes man and start looking for a winner. But if you think the board and the managers are the only one feeling the heat, think again, because the players are about to take a massive hit where it hurts most, their pockets. For all the talk about incentive-based contracts under this new ownership, we are seeing the brutal reality of what happens when you don't perform on the pitch. We are currently on the verge of meeting out on Champions League football again, and the financial consequences for the squad are staggering. Matt Law laid it out plainly. Chelsea players on course to throw away 20% salary bonus, millions of pounds lost in bonuses by missing out Champions League qualification. But it's not just about the lost bonuses. For this squad, it's a literal pay cut because of the way this contract are structured. If you aren't at Europe top table, the base wage actually drops. Jack Rose and Leo Canfield has reported the specific Chelsea players' contractual clauses, which are understood to reduce wages by between £30,000 and £40,000 per week in the event of lack of Champions League football, are likely to be activated. Imagine that you're a player in this squad, and because you couldn't get the job done, you are looking at £160,000 drop in your take-home pay. On one hand, you could say it's fair. If you don't play like a Champions League team, why should we be paid like one? It's the accountability the board loves to talk about. But on the other hand, does this motivate the players, or does it make it more likely for them to look for an exit door? We already know the strategy is shifting towards matured ready-made players, but we those players want to come here knowing that their salary is currently tied to a process that look broken. We have a massive fixture against Liverpool at Anfield this Saturday, and then the FA Cup final against Man City on 16th. If there's ever a time for these players to fight for their pride and their bank accounts, it's now. And if we didn't have enough to worry about within our own four walls, we have to look across London to see how far we have fallen. It's the news no Chelsea fans wanted to hear, but we have to face it. Arsenal has reached the UEFA Champions League final. It's heartbreaking truly, watching them of all clubs celebrate after beating Atletico Madrid 2-1 in aggregate to book their ticket to Budapest is a massive reality check for us. Arsenal reaching the Champions League final isn't just a milestone for them, it's a statement to the entire Premier League. After years of rebuilding under Mikel Arteta, they have gone from a project in progress to a team that is competing at the very top of European football. Not long ago, we were the gold standard. We were the club that won the Champions League even when our domestic season were a mess. We had that mentality. But now Arsenal, where Chelsea fans thought we would be by now. Their project is working while ours is telling. And why? Because they built a clear identity, a defined system, and they actually trusted their manager over time. Meanwhile, we have had constant managerial change, a bloated squad, no consistent tactical identity, despite huge spending without clear cohesion. Seeing them in the final forces us to ask the question we have been avoiding. Why does their project look years ahead of ours? Why are we still talking about annual reviews? Why they are preparing for the biggest game in world football? For us, these things, more than just a typical rivalry. Watching Arsenal World Club reach a Champions League final brings frustration, jealousy, and reflection, especially for a fan base that have experienced European glory more recently. It removes every excuse our board has given us. Success elsewhere shows that rebuild doesn't mean years of mid-table obscurity. It shows that if you have alignment from top to bottom, you progress. Right now, Arsenal the mirror, showing us how far we have drifted from the standard we set. If the Chelsea project is going to succeed, we need to move from potential to actual progress, and we need to do it fast, because right now the view from West London is looking like a nightmare. And with that said, that's the end of the video, my friends. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. You go be.